right.
Cool. Just wait.
No.
feel like no man not kind.
Sorry.
It's live.
Yeah. Assalamualaikum. Peace. My name is Rakaya. I am Coach Nazir and Coach Fatimah's daughter. And I was 12 when I first started polygyny.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. I am Khalil, son of Coach Nyla, born the son of Coach Nazir. I am 21, but was introduced to polygyny at the age of 11.
Assalamualaikum. Peace. I'm Fatimah. I'm the daughter of Coach Fatimah and Coach Nadir, and I was introduced to polygyny when I was 8.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. My name is Sulaiman. I was introduced to polygyny when I was 4 years old.
Today we're going to be addressing different misconceptions, myths, and our feelings towards polygyny, since it's a topic that comes up frequently during the lives. The first thing that we do want to address is our father and his bonus father's time spent between us. As soon as polygyny is brought up, a lot of people assume that it's something between strictly the wives and the husband, but it's not, and it's something that heavily affects the children. But in regards to him spending time with us and his availability, when he first started polygyny, he was always available whenever we needed him. As Muslims, we pray in the morning, so he was always there for morning prayer. He was always nearby for us, and even before polygyny, he was that way too. So that when I was a child, that was never something I actually did worry about.
To further agree. To further agree with what Kaya was saying, definitely he was definitely around when there was no issues as to as to him being absent or at all. Say he was always around, always accessible. So whenever, whenever any one of us or whenever I needed him, it was very easy to come to him and to talk to him about certain things. So,
For me, my father has always been around. I've never had a question if he would be at the house if I need him or if any of us need him. Even before polygyny, Kai stated that he's always available. He makes himself available, and I think that's a common misconception when it comes to polygyny. Like, oh, the father must not see the children. He's going to see his kids. So he's always around. I remember, I think the time when I was little, I think I injured my toe. Came up to the house. He came out to the house, and he stayed with me. So I'm really not questioning him in terms of timing because he's always been there. So that's not something I would say he's never been available. He's never seen me every day.
I'll say the same because we go to Fedra every day. I was like 4, so I didn't really know the difference of what polygyny was. But I never had the thought that he wouldn't be there. I never had that thought. I never thought that he wouldn't come when I needed him to come. So, yeah.
We all agree that you are present.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace, Coach Nazir here. Coach Fatimah and Nyla just finished up their RMIC for this week. So they're doing some planning right now. And these are 4 of the children, at least the ones that aren't as camera shy or who had to represent, nevertheless. So they're going to answer some different questions, going back and forth. I'm going to be back and forth. I might come back in and kind of help them out because, before the camera got rolling, everything was all good. And then all of a sudden it was, I didn't really know what to say. So I was nervous because this is a camera. Anyway, so they're gonna be addressing a number of different things. So if you have questions, put them in. I'm going to be trying to facilitate some of the questions for them. So again, you may be seeing me stop in, come back out, what have you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? So, share the page if you like it. Like the page, like the channel, subscribe, all of those types of things. do that. Help us go ahead and empower more people and reach our goal of empowering more than 1,000 people by the end of this year. So with that, I'm gonna get out the way, and hopefully they'll be able to project their voices like I'm doing now, so you can hear, and the comments don't get filled with, "We can't hear you. Can you please speak up? Hey, boy on the right." Hey, none of those to show up. So get this down.
All right.
So moving on to the next question. All right.
In the Western world, I do think polygyny is frowned upon. However, if you're practicing it within your own community, there is a place for it if you make a place for it. It's lose my train of thought. I do think it has a place in society because it builds people up. I think a lot of people think it's some weird thing where it's, oh, this man, he's collecting women and he's just doing this for the intimacy of multiple wives. But as time went on, as growing up in polygyny and seeing the benefits of it, I started to become more open to it. So it's not something you should just look at on the outside and not be willing to research on and just judge without doing your research first and looking at the people around you who may be practicing polygyny instead of immediately closing your mind up to the thought of your husband having multiple wives.
Agreed. It is definitely, it is a place. There is a place for it. Only, like I said, if you make it and do so with confidence, because, it is such, in this day and age and in this society, it's, it's extremely shamed upon. Crazy thing about it was that growing up in that household, it was normal to me. In fact, it was, monogamy wasn't normal to me. It was seeing it, going out and venturing out into the world a little bit. I got to see where mindset was with monogamy, and at times, in fact, oftentimes it was more, the word I'm looking for is possessive or, territorial and numerous times toxic.
Right.
But, so yeah, I definitely see it's a place for it, but if done so with confidence, mindsets could definitely change on it.
In my case, I don't think that there's a place for it in Western society because love is love until it comes to polygyny. And it's just plain and simple. It's like when you're doing this honorable action of marriage and you are expanding your family with multiple women, you are supporting these multiple women. It's like, oh, why are you doing that? That's so gross. But when you see all these immoral things going on, being so normalized in today's society, it's like, oh, let's love. We love each other. That's so cool. That's great. But for me, there's not a place in Western society, like outside of America, places like this, but we're overseas, we're more accepting countries, let's say continents like Africa, I would say definitely it's more accepted. But in such a convoluted society, especially in America, Western area, it's not accepted. I don't think there's gonna ever be a place where people completely accept polygyny. There might be, but for me, as of now, in the way today's times are working, I would disagree.
All right, I would say I agree with you on that. It's extremely frowned upon. But I would say there might be a place in a community or maybe a religion that has its boundaries and it actually promotes polygyny. And this could be a good thing. This could, or probably is a good thing for people to do in practice because you find out. Anyway.
I don't think that Western society would agree that polygyny is a good thing. It's like leave us. Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
yeah.
30-second answers. Okay. I was 12 when I was first introduced to polygyny. Yeah, when my father started practicing polygyny.
And I was 11.
I was 8.
I was 4.
Oh, he had a head start.
Yes, they do ask about Coach Nyla. In regards, I just tell them that's his second wife. She has 3 kids by him and then 2 bonus children to us. Even sometimes when I'm at work, people will be like, well, how many siblings do you have? And I'll say 9, of course, with the bonus children too. And they're like, well, what happened? I don't want it to look like a broken foundation of a family or like infidelity. So I tell them, I'm like, straight up, Islam allows the men to have 4 wives. My dad has 2 wives. My mother has 7 with him, and his second wife, she has 3 by him plus 2 bonus kids. I'm just straight to the point. I don't want it to look like it's something where my dad stepped out on us and did all this stuff, or I have multiple parents, if that makes sense. Even though Coach Nyla, for me, is sort of like a second mom. So that's kind of how I address it. I just hit it right to the point. Islam allows men to have 4 wives. My dad has 2. This is what we do. We don't live in the same house. They're up the street. It works for us. You don't have to like it if you don't want to.
That's true. In fact, that's actually a new, well, that's a new perspective for me to view it as. Now, as for me, it's some sort of a rarity when it's brought up, at least to me. But when it is, that's how I look at it. It's a large family. It's a large family that's getting bigger, and when it comes with that, of course, it would raise questions like, "Oh, would it be problems in between the first or second wife?" Or da 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 da. And in all actuality, it shows growing up into it and now being able to see it um, as comparing to seeing it out, seeing monogamy, or saying just seeing how it is. It's like being an addition to the family. That's I always talk about. Miss thing, it's my, saying second mother, or I have, saying I have more than one mother, it's so. My apologies if I'm getting off course, but you know what I'm saying.
That's
Sorry.
Yes, for me, yes. I feel like most definitely because I was watching a live last few weeks ago, and the women who were a part of polygyny, they were like, "It's sort of a break. I'm more of an introverted person. I need time to myself. I'd much rather him. He could have all 3, and then me too. So that's what I prefer."
And me, yes, most definitely. In fact, this ties into a few months ago, I was talking to a close friend of mine who has a girlfriend, but so it's monogamous. Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, he ain't married. I mean, he ain't married, but that's been on his mind a lot lately. However, he was struggling to come up with the word because, like, if he was like, once he does marry, the question will arise, and his interest will arise in having a wife. So polygyny. So we had this talk about it, that's something that he was leaning more towards, and he'd been on that for a minute. So, you know what I'm saying? It is, I'll say that it is viewed on a positive note, for lack of a better term, even outside, you know what I'm saying, even outside of Islam, there's people who are non-Muslim who are interested in it, but since it's so shunned in this today's age in society, you know what I'm saying, a lot of men rarely speak up on it.
Yeah. For
Yes.
me,
My apologies.
for me, definitely yes. I'm not the kind. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the kind of woman that can be cooking every day. I can't be sharing the bed every day. I can't talk every day. I have to have a break. When it first started, I was like, dang, that sounds really sad. And then I'm observing my parents and Coach Nyla was like, okay, actually, it's not kind of doable. So I would have to be, or if it was ever introduced to me by my husband, or if I was invited to be a secondary wife, third, fourth, I'm cool with it. I'm just somebody who needs a break. Secondary.
Seconds.
Subsequent?
And see it like that. All right, so like, how about you?
Maybe, I don't know.
He's only 14.
So 14, so maybe not. Yes.
Yeah.
sir.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do. Yes.
The fun part with my father.
I mean,
In
something
fact,
is planned.
it works so smoothly. It's kind of hard to come up with. Oh, how does it work? Spending time. Oh, it's like we always see each other. We always happen to spend quality. Not only do we spend quality time also around our parents, we also spend quality time alone, and we get to be able to connect and bond on a brotherly level. It's way beyond being a bonus child or or anything at this point. At this point, it's straight siblings. We all are like we have this type of love as if we are blood related. You know. So yeah, if that answers that correctly.
It does for me too. Straight to the point.
You know, say anything?
Oh, it's
Okay.
the process. I feel like people overcomplicate it. It's not complicated. You come pick the kids up. They all spend time at one house, or they spend time at the other house. So it's not something that's complicated or needs to be pre-planned. Because if they're your siblings, they just come on in. They're welcome anytime. So it's not something that's weird or strange, and we don't treat them like strangers. We just treat them like our siblings. So that's what it is.
For me, do we get to spend time with our bonus siblings? Yeah, we do. When it comes to meetings or if it comes to holidays like this Eid, we spend time with each other. We all dressed up, we all take family photos, we all talk to each other. It's mainly holiday stuff, and I'm pretty cool with that. Hanging out with the bonus siblings.
I would also like to add into hanging out and spending time where, developing a connection. I stay a ways away. So like my time here is my time around my family or around my siblings, bonus siblings, or what I'm saying, my siblings is somewhat limited to a certain extent. However, every time I do arrive and every time I do come back, the bond is still there. It's still come here. Every time, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Every
get
time.
lost, like we don't know who you are.
No, that's the locks.
Right, be like, oh, one or another day came up to my car. I was like, I saw them locks. I didn't know.
But yes, we do get to have a very, very long time with each other and spend time. We see each other basically every day. So yeah. And you also, I would say we get to bond with each other most of the time anyway.
Enough time to give
Literally.
inside
All the
jokes,
time.
man.
Yeah.
You're right.
But the bonds don't shiver over time. It's still there.
Shit, yeah, sure.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah.
No.
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 What I gotta be a rival
Cut your
for?
grass first.
Yours first.
You know,
You don't have the time for that kind of stuff. What you gotta be mad about?
right. And
Even before polygyny, I think it's important to establish that whole rivalry thing. So if a husband decides to get multiple wives and even more children, that's not a thing. So even before our father had a second wife, we didn't do that sibling rivalry thing or try to go against each other or anything like that. So that's a little strange. So no, it's not there for us.
Yeah. And also agreeing with that, you know what I'm saying? She always takes the words right out of my mouth before I have to say them. But, you know, when it comes with, if there's any rivalry, of course, it's definitely like a sibling, like a friendly competition. There's always, you know what I'm saying? We are raised on a competitive level. So, of course, you know what I'm saying? We, in order to be the best, we got to be the best. And it's always sort of competition. So as to any rivalry, it's always friendly. You know what I'm saying? Always. Yeah, brother. As right now, he's beating me in height. Oh no, I'm like 5'10", at least.
Oh, people said that.
Yeah. Growing up, I did have problems with that, especially from family. So I was at a very impressionable age. So I was 13. So when I first started, I was okay with it. If I got invited over, I was open to that. But over time, as more people continue talking to me and give me their opinions on polygyny and why I shouldn't talk to them or why Coach Nyla is a home wrecker and stuff like that, things started to become a lot more miserable. And I started to become very closed off. So as a teenager, I let a lot of different people's opinions and thoughts kind of mesh with mine, and I formed this opinion about the second family or the subsequent family, not to say second family, but based on what people were telling me constantly as a teenager. So when I first started, I was like, okay, he got a second wife, so what? He still loves my mom. He still takes care of her. He takes care of us. He wasn't making anything weird or comparing us to them or anything. I didn't see an issue with it. I was like, Umi means my mother. And Arabic, I was like, Umi, you're perfect. I don't know what you're bugging about. Like, he just got a second wife doesn't mean he loves you any less. As I got older, it was, Coach Nyla, she's trying to take y'all from your mom, so you shouldn't go over there. You shouldn't get to know them. Or she's trying to take your whole family from your mom. She's trying to be your mom. And as I got older and more miserable with it, I started to not like polygyny or let Coach Nyla or her children get close to me. So yes, there has been drama. It's squashed now, but yes, there was a lot of drama, especially for me as an older child.
Which, looking back on it, is understandable. Being, you know what I'm saying, being in a teenager, being in the mindset of, you know what I'm saying, going into preteens through teenager. This is a point of our lives where we are observing life at the fullest extent. Where, you know what I'm saying, there's a whole lot of new things going on, and then especially when it comes with family coming into play. There were some times where it was where it was conflict between, you know what I'm saying, between my mother and my biological father's side of the family when it came with marrying and different things like that. Me, I'm a talkative person to a certain extent. So whatever it is, I would typically stay silent about it, or will voice my opinion if I need to. However, I lost track of thought. Let's go back to
start stuff though.
Like try to start stuff. Yes, it's most definitely a problem. And if anybody, you know what I'm saying, as it should be for anybody who, you know what I'm saying, for anybody who has this amount of love and care for their family and the people that they call their family. So yes, no doubt. Okay.
No, so I mean,
Now,
he was a baby, so you a baby, you was like 5.
And that's how I used to rate my toy box.
I was only 8, so I had a really limited understanding of polygyny. I went to the Islamic private school. We just learned that polygyny is allowed. You could marry 4 wives, and I understood that. So when I was told about it, I was like, okay, what's the problem? It's allowed. But I didn't really realize when people started saying bad stuff about Coach Nyla, they're trying to feel some sort of resentment towards her. So when I see my mom or see relatives say different things, I react in a certain way. Of course, I was little. I was 8, 9. I started not to like them. And eventually getting older and slowly connecting with them, I got a better understanding. Yeah, Coach Nyla is super nice. Probably the nicest person I know at the moment. And so people did start drama, and being older now, we can speak up against that and we can recognize that. Because being little, we don't have the best understanding of things. So yeah, I would say they did start drama, and the drama is squashed and over.
No, no, that's all him. Just don't give me no more siblings. Stop that now. That's his business. Absolutely.
You know?
No more kids.
Absolutely.
Person just get
We don't care.
We're all right with it.
Here are 3 ways outstanding personal relationships can help you.
One is by following us on our social medias. Follow us on IG at Outstanding Relationships and on Facebook and YouTube at Outstanding Personal Relationships. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Number 2, make sure you head over to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com and subscribe to the email list. From there, you will get downloads as well as updates, any and all updates. And you also get an update on the release of our new book, Let's Talk Polygyny, Uncensored.
Number 3, if you are serious about polygyny relationships and really developing fulfillment and happiness, make sure you register for our Relationship Mastery Inner Circle, which is members only, which includes downloads, it includes access to us live on a weekly basis. So that's at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/RM. We'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.